Before we're done with this course of violin for beginners, I would like to show you how to recognize what kind of bow, what part of bow we're gonna need to use when you see different type of notes. But before that, I want to explain to you how to count those notes and how to transfer them to your bow. So first of all, this first note that you see on a board is whole note, and it has 4 beats. So when you see this note in your music sheet, you're gonna need to use the whole bow and count 4 seconds. For example, I have this note on a string D, so I will start from my fork. I will use my curved wrist, and I will start counting. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure that you have 2 beats before your middle bow mark and 2 beats after your middle bow mark. So like this: 1, 2. Your wrist should be straight at this point. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is how you play your whole note. Now, next note that you see written on my board is a half note, and it has 2 beats. As usually, musicians, violinists, we also spend a whole bow to play this half note. Just the only difference will be between this whole note and half note, that our half note will be played with moving bow in faster speed. So you're gonna move your bow twice faster to make sure that you fit only 2 beats in it. So in comparison with whole note, where I was moving my bow with this speed, 1, 2, 3, 4, I will move my bow twice faster if I need to play my half note on one bow. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So I need to use whole bow while I have just only 2 beats notes. So let's do it one more time. My whole note: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. My half note: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it will be a little bit more tricky, because to play with to move your bow with faster speed, with higher speed, is going to be more difficult in comparison with moving your bow in a slower speed. So it's going to take some practice. All right, our next note is crochet. It's our note that has 1 beat. This note has 1 beat, and as usually, those notes should be played using only half of your bow. However, some pieces where you can see only crochet and your quavers, this note will be played by whole bow. So you need to practice to play that note using your whole bow and using your half bow. So if it's whole bow, it's really need to be a fast speed. So 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So use your whole bow, and it will be very fast speed. Or it can be played by using only half bow. So 1, and it will be much easier. Or a second part of the bow. All right. 2 other notes. They are quavers, and 2 of them are equal 1 beat. So each of them is half beat. So half plus half beat is equal 1 beat. Yeah, so each of them is half beat, therefore they always being played by half of your bow. If you're using first part, and if you're using second part of your bow. All right, this symbol is crochet rest. It means that you need to be quiet for 1 second, for 1 beat. This symbol, there's nothing what you should do. You should just remain silent and wait until next note comes. This symbol is also rest, is silence in music, when you need to remain silent for 2 seconds. And our next one is also silence, when you need to remain quiet for 4 seconds. If you will place those rest on a staff, they will look like this. So this is your 1 beat rest. This is your half rest. It's sitting on the top of your 3rd line, and this is your 4 beats rest, when it's sitting kind of hanging down from the 4th line. So those are all symbols and notes that I wanted to introduce you during this lesson. And now I will show you how to play the piece, and how to understand what kind of bow, what part of bow you need to use to play that piece. So now you can see on my board I have a little chunk, a little extract of the songs that you'll get for practicing on string A, in case you want those materials that I mentioned in our previous videos. So you can see I have treble clef. Those are sharps that I will introduce you in my theory lessons for beginners. This is time signature. That's something what I will introduce in the same course, theory for beginners, because we cannot cover all the little things just in course for violin. And straight away you can see our half rest. I wrote it here. So half rest has 2 beats. That's when you need to get ready. So you need to place your violin, you need to place your hand, you need to place your bow, and just wait for 2 seconds. Kind of that's your time to prepare. Also you need to take a look from what note we're starting. And as I mentioned before, if you have only crotchets and quavers, as we have here in this piece of music, so then your crotchets will be played using whole bow, and your quavers will be played using half bow. That's why you need to think logically. If you have crochet that require whole bow, so then you need to prepare while you have these 2 beats of rest. You need to prepare your bow. You need to place your bow at the beginning near the fork, because you're gonna play this note using the whole bow. And this note, because this is practice for A string, it will be our E, that is played by 4th finger on A string. How can you find this E? So obviously you didn't place all those notes before E, so you can how to make sure that this E is in correct place and you will play correct tune. So just simply find this E, and you can check it with your open E, because of the two are the same notes. You remember that we can play E using your 4th finger or your open string. Here we're using 4th finger, and you can check if it's a correct tune by checking with your open string. So starting from the beginning, 2 beats, it's our rest. So 1, 2. 2 of them I played using my whole bow. So 4, and 2 A's over here, 2 quavers, I will play using only first part of my bow. So A, B, whole bow. And now I end ended up being in the second part of your bow, so that's where you should stay. So you need to play 2 quavers here and 2 quavers here and 2 quavers here, being in your second part of the bow. So and here you perfectly ended up being near your fork. It's tricky and it's require your big attention, and
nice to be
and
appreciated.
maybe it's require your big attention, and you know, Siri tried to merge in. You're gonna end up in a perfect place if you follow exact you know, if you will try to play this piece in using specific chunks and parts of your bow. So let's try one more time from the beginning. I will find my E. Okay, I'm preparing my bow to start playing from the fork, and 1, 2. So half, half, half. This was your piece. Yeah, so make sure that you you can even write to yourself what part of your bow you're gonna use for each note at the beginning, to make sure that you're doing it in correct way, because afterwards you're just gonna use to it, and it won't be that difficult. You won't be thinking extra about these things. Now I decided to show you another chunk of exercise, of practicing exercise that you will receive if you ask me for those extra practicing materials. And I decided to include this one because it has few tricks that you need to know for your practice, and they're not that difficult, but you just need to know their meaning. So for example, I already said about our sharps and about time signature, and that I will explain them in our theory course for beginners. But you can see also this mark, and this means that you need to start from the fork. You need to start from the fork, and your note is starting from the fork. If you see the symbols that looks like this, the meaning of the symbol that you need to start from the end of your bow. So this kind of square means that you need to start from the fork, and this V tells you that you need to start from the top of your bow. Also, you can see little like links tying together 2 notes. The name of that link is slur, and it tells you that you need to one bow to play 2 notes. For example, I have here A and B, and they are linked together. It means that for A, I will use half bow, and for B, I will use another part of the bow. So it means that 2 notes will be played on the same bow. So you will not change your bow to play those notes. So if I need to play 2 notes on the bow, it means that they will share bow in equal way. So for first note, I will use first part of the bow, a first half, and for second note, I will use a second part. So 2 notes, 2 other notes, they're exactly the same. So C, D, first part, 1 half for C and 1 half for D. So it sounds like this. Next note is our half note. It has 2 beats. So I ended up being near fork again. So I will spend whole bow for this half note because it's the longest note. You can see there's no whole note in this piece. That's why in this chunk. So that's why I will spend whole bow using playing this half note. So the 2 of them will be played is for whole bow. So whole bow, and again 2 notes linked to each other. So D, C, D, B, D will have half bow and C will have half bow, D will have half bow and B will have half bow. And again half bow. One more time from the beginning. The piece. So don't get confused if you see two notes linked together, or sometimes you have three notes linked together. So if you see three notes linked together, so it means that you need to split your bow into three equal parts. If you have four notes linked together with the slur, so it means that you need to split your bow into four equal parts and place each note into that part. So there's nothing tricky, and it just gives you that the smoothness and makes your melody more flowy in comparison if you will play them using separate bows. So it's kind of linking them together and you know, fixing your melody into one thought, turning it into a little song. La 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 la. So if you will, listen to the way your voice is flowing smooth and nice, that's the way you want your you want sound on violin sound as well. So it should be smooth and flowing. Okay, so I hope that you understand everything what I was trying to explain to you, and I hope that you will be able to do all those exercises and to learn all the skills that I want you to learn and get comfortable with in this course for violin for beginners. And I will be happy to see you in my course for intermediate. And on top of that, I really recommend you to watch my theory for beginners, because this is the place where I will explain to you the meaning of each symbol in a way of music theory. So we will learn how to why we have the sticks here, why do we have flats here, why we have three of them, why we have two of them, why the numbers in time signature changing. So this is something what I will explain to you in my theory for beginners course. So I really hope that you will be able to attend that as well. And yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this course, and I will see you in my intermediate course for violins. Bye. I hope that you enjoyed this course, and I will be happy to see you in my intermediate course for violinists.